Moving along to the next section, I'm going to hit Save and Continue. And it's going to ask for an assessment summary. Now, y'all, assessments, they are talking about what did we use to develop our present levels. If you will follow me to a CCAS IEP, and in looking at this IEP, this is the section that they're asking about. So it says a summarized assessment information. What did we use to develop? What is our existing data? So we're talking about IEP goal progress, state testing, district assessments, which remember that is our ULS, attendance, any transition assessments that have been completed, if you've done the Bergantz, grades, anything along those lines. So that's what goes in this section. So let me show you how you add it. You come down to the bottom and click Add Assessments. You can choose to do formal assessments or custom assessments. Formal assessments are the items that we would check on a Deck 2 to get parent permission to test for. Except I do click Review Existing Data, and then I come to the next tab of, okay, so what assessment did I click? You've got your adaptive behavior, regular behavior, autism, educational testing, motor testing, and other. So when you look at other, some of these things we do complete without a Deck 2 signature. So you've got your review of existing data behavior. So if you're keeping any behavior data, review of existing data educational. So those are some of the things I have chosen. If you did a parent interview or a teacher interview for some of your transition assessments, you could click that because that would certainly count in that area. And here's a transition planning inventory, which hopefully one day we will have. And then you can see all of the other things. Then you have the psychological available, speech language, and your vision. So when it's time to do a re-eval, remember that's where those are located. But instead of formal assessments, I'm going to click custom assessments. I'm going to type in what I need, and I'm just going to type in words because I've already got in what I need. I just need to show you. Now, if this was something that had a subject attached, you would put what the subject area is, and did you get a standard score, an age equivalent, a grade equivalent, etc.? What type of score did you report? Or are you just going to put comments? I'm going to scroll down to the bottom, click Save and Continue. And then everything that I have typed in appears in this box. So if you fill up all of these boxes, all you have to do is go back down to the bottom and add an assessment, and it'll give you 4 more boxes every time. If you've entered something that you don't want, click on the box, the open box on the left, and save, and they will be deleted. It says I don't have permission to delete those assessments because I'm not the case manager. So I'll have to get the case manager to do that. So after I enter an assessment area, I'm going to put a date. When you click on date, it would be today's date, and you come over here to details, and I'm going to actually enter the details for a review of existing data, educational, broad math. So I'm going to give an overall summary of how my student has been doing in math. What's the begin date? The begin date of the IEP. And what's the end date? The end date of the current IEP. Who's providing that service? What was the frequency? And then save and continue. If you have a log, you can enter the log of information, but we don't have a log of scores. Until PowerSchool and all of the systems start communicating with ECATS, we do need to enter grades, attendance, behavior. Otherwise, that information will not be available. So you will need to enter that, as well as we've learned this the hard way. When you're entering IEP goal progress, enter it separately for each goal that you have, because it makes it difficult for you as you go further. And I would, at the end of that section, I'm going to press save and continue. And then it's going to say, where's my source of relative information? I'm going to click add and remove. Add or remove areas assessed. So what areas am I using that data for? You're using that data for every area that you have an IEP goal. So that's what you're going to find and click. You will notice that it is not going to say basics, the basic stuff like we use. So you got to scroll through. Over here, reading comprehension, reading decoding, reading fluency. These are for a student who has a learning disability. Same thing with math computation, math reasoning. That would be for a student with a learning disability. For us, we have a math goal, we have a reading goal. Student also has a speech goal. So speech would decide if it's receptive or expressive. So there's receptive, there's expressive. And the next thing you need to know is this section on the left called the Expanded Core Curriculum. This is designed by DPI for those students who are visually impaired. So if you have a student with a vision goal, you would check one of these boxes. So make sure you check everything that has assessment data for that IEP goal and press save and continue.